What is up, Scarnet, bringing you a breakdown analysis Scarlet and Violet video. And yeah, in the last one, we have talked about the possibility of the one dude possibly using the students to find the real treasure and all that. And I know in the beginning of the video, I talked a lot about Satine in the previous one before that. But yeah, like, it's crazy back then how it worked with all the unicorn horns that I had mentioned with the poison properties. Because even back then, the people didn't even realize how much stuff that they had that possessed so much poison already with all the mercury and arsenic. It's crazy. Like, the queen owned makeup, and makeup had arsenic already in it. And like, there's a lot of like hats, you know, that had mercury in them. You know, that's where the term Mad Hatter comes from, because the mercury seeps into your head and it like poisons your mind and it makes you crazy and all that. Pretty crazy back then. Besides all that, like, I have on my notes for some reason on like something blue in the first Grassy Town screenshot, which is this, and I assume it's talking about this machine, because I don't know if this is like a lemonade machine or a soda pop or fresh water or whatever. I don't exactly remember why I put that as a note. Other than that, I didn't mention about the Pokemon Center in this mountain shot right here. But today we're going to cover multiple trailers because they all kind of join together, and I'm going to talk about some other stuff. But yeah, in the beginning, upcoming right here, just ignore the fact that I say, oh, I think it's Violet version, because like literally the first video that I'm covering is about competitive battling. So let's just get into it. So the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, they're showing off like the color spectrum here. I really like the little rainbow lights from before. New additions bring new excitement to Pokemon battles. This is the trailer that shows the competitive battling and different items and a brand new something that you shall see. But here's the flying type Pikachu that's based on Pokemon Yellow, as I already mentioned before. So I think that's pretty neat. You do see the Violet trainer behind it, so it is very much Violet version with all the other Violet trainers. So this is more likely inside the academy, so that's pretty cool. I didn't realize they showed the new something straight off the bat, because it's literally the next clip after the flying Pikachu, but we'll get into him in a little bit. Whatever this Pokemon is that we'll cover in a little bit is getting covered by these metal gears. I don't know if that's him doing the move or if he's being attacked. I'm not really sure, so there's that. Here's the Titan attacking this Lilligant. Oh, it's our Satine. Oh, that's interesting. I see the Violet trainer in the background for that too. And now it's a Scarlet trainer behind the new Pokemon. I just realized there's so much stuff happening. Ghost type Tyranitar, which is a very good Terraform because, like, well, you'll see. I think this is the video where they showed the example, but it's attacking the Glade. I think this was a bunch of the previews. I didn't realize they revealed this much in it, but there you go. The Violet trainer sends out a Cloyster. So that, well, yeah, I already confirmed Shelter and Cloyster, so that's fine. And here's a new Pokemon right here from the Scarlet trainer, Cyclizar, Dragon Normal type. So let's look over at the new Pokemon, see what they have to say. The Mount Pokemon, Dragon Normal type, 5'3". It's like 4 inches shorter than Charizard. They need to change Charizard's height, man, if you're gonna make Cyclizar 5'3". Anyway, 138.9 pounds, has shed skin. A Pokemon that lives with humans. This Pokemon had lived in many households in the Paldea region since ancient times. It has a mild disposition, and people riding Cyclizar are a very common sight. It appears Cyclizar don't mind being ridden because of the warmth of a rider helps stave off the cold. Okay, well, when it says it like that, I don't know if I like the sound of that. It likes the warmth of the trainer. Do you know what part of the body like you're referring to, sir? Like they're literally sitting on you. Like the warmth is from their ass, sir. Like what the hell? Anyway, a body optimized for running. Cyclizar can sprint at over 70 miles per hour while carrying a human. Its extremely hard head and thick lift tail are not only useful for maintaining balance and absorbing shocks while sprinting, they also provide effective ways to attack during battles. A new move, Shed Tail. The user creates a substitute for itself using its own HP before switching places with a party Pokemon in waiting, which we'll see right here. It's going to use Shed Tail, and I think it's a very clever move. I don't know why a Pokemon would attack the tail instead. Maybe the tail kind of has a mind of its own. We already know that a lot of the reptiles, like when they sever their tails, they could instantly grow it back. Well, not instantly, but they grow back their tails pretty much. And having their tails out, I don't know. I really doubt. Does it hurt them? I'm not even sure, but they could live without their tails pretty much. So I think it's a pretty neat move. So it's a substitute, and it's a U-turn substitute type of move. And now Magnezone is out, but the substitute Shed-Tail is still there. Here's a Azumarill doing belly drum for some reason, and now because it does belly drum, there's a new item called the Mirror Herb. Copies an opponent's stat increases when consumed, and now his attack drastically rose up. Here's Rotom Wash, and the Scarlet Trainer brings out Colossal, and now it's terraforming to make Colossal a water type, which is pretty good, because like if it does a water move, it will resist it now. That's the whole point of the terraforming change. It would have been quite effective, but now it's not. And now with the Steam Engine, it really benefits from this ability now, and now speed drastically rose up. Here's Balloon with the Grass Terraform using Bullet Seed on Blissey on the Scarlet Trainer, and now with the new item, Loaded Dice. Here's another El Dorado reference. You gave me loaded dice? He gave me loaded dice. Makes multi-strike moves more likely to hit more times. I thought it was like a guarantee, but they showed like the max amount right here when Balloon does all 5 Bullet Seed strikes along with the Terraform, so it does extra damage. With the Blissey, that's a pretty good example because of the defense capabilities of Blissey that it has. Unless it's not a very well-trained Blissey. I don't know what you be doing, Scarlet Trainer, but I'm watching you. Here's the Violet Trainer bringing out Gallade, and now the Scarlet Trainer bringing out Tyranitar. Tyranitar terraforming to the Ghost type Pokemon from the Pokemon Yellow games, the one that you have to use a Sylph Scope to identify. But the whole reason it's a terraform of Ghost type is because Tyranitar is quite weak against fighting, and now with Ghost types, it's immune to fighting. So that's how you can see is the benefits of terraforming. Terra Blast changes type when the user has terrestrialized, and now Tyranitar, the Ghost type, is attacking Gallade, who is weak to Ghost. So this is a great example right here of what the competitive nature on what Pokemon was trying to do here, and that's the end of that trailer pretty much. There is some stuff that I want to talk about when it pertains to the leaks, because honestly, like with the bunch of leaks that they were saying, they really do like a great job on covering all this stuff, because a lot of this from these leaks really actually came true. This was before they showed Grusha off, and Grusha's here way before when they posted this, because this was posted I believe in July, and I believe it was in August that they introduced Grusha. And not only that, but they showed Penny over here, and this is inside a house. This wasn't even outside where we saw Penny the first time. And they also mentioned terraforming before terraforming was a thing. I don't know what Pokemon that is though. A lot of these pictures are blurry, and I'm pretty sure they're blurry on purpose, but supposedly these are the rest of the gym leaders, not all of them, because obviously there's like more than 8 or even just 8 of them, but there you go. A lot of people mention about this guy looking like a gnome, so I find that kind of funny, and that's just part of the whole thing right here. So I don't know what are these Pokemon, and I'm not sure what are these gym leaders, but they're definitely not all of them. I don't know why they say it like that. But besides that, supposedly with these different variants, there's said to be quite a few of them, and this leak was already said before this actually happened, because I think from the source that I got, this was also in mid-July, and we already know Paldean Wooper was announced I believe in August 3rd. So yeah, they had mentioned about Wooper having a different variant, and now it happened. But it did say that it was going to evolve into something completely else, and I really would like a Quagsire. So just at least give me a chocolate Quagsire and then evolve it. Don't just take it out, because I really want to see it. But either way, Tauros is said to be in the game with the whole new different variant, and like I mentioned before with the youngsters, they have like a different t-shirt to it that shows like a black Tauros. I'm not sure what type it would be, maybe like a psychic fighting type or something, since Tauros is pretty physical and all that, and there's some psychic elements to Tauros when it comes to like the manga and all that. The other variations that they mention is that there's going to be a different Primeape, a different Murkrow, so who knows if there's also going to be a different variation of Honchkrow, a new Girafarig, and we did see Girafarig in the game, and then there's got to be a new Poniard. When I think of Poniard, I do think of this area with like the Scizor fighting the Golduck, and there's like weird chess pieces to it, that it might be be around that area, and I'm not sure what typing they would be. But if there was a new Primate, I want to say like fire electric. If you're keeping one of the types, then maybe firefighting, but there's way too many firefighting, so I don't know. For Murkrow, there's so many possibilities with that Pokemon when it comes to here, because like Murkrow's already a great design as it is, along with Honchkrow. I love Honchkrow because like Murkrow, it looks like it's wearing a hat, you know, and Honchkrow looks like a straight up mafia boss. So whatever variation you could have pertain to the region being Spain based, there's so much you could do. My prediction is psychic flying, something like that, something that involves sorcery if you get involved the hat. I don't know, and that's what I could think of. Girafarig though, dark psychic, dark normal, I don't know, that's my guess I suppose. Pawniard though, I think it'll keep the steel type, but then it would probably be steel fire, steel fighting. I don't know why I'm throwing in a lot of fighting and fire and dark on these, but it would be nice. That's just predictions out of no evidence, and this is just guess all the way through, nothing to go by. Some other Pokemon they had mentioned was Jigglypuff, Amoonguss, and Misdreavus, and there's something else pertaining to the leaks that they mentioned, paradox types or like a conversion type of Pokemon, that they're the same Pokemon but they're different, they're like not the same species, because they had mentioned something about Diglett, something that looks like a Diglett but it's not a Diglett or something like that, so I'm not really sure. And I'm not really sure if they involve any of the Pokemon that I had named, but Jigglypuff is said to be in the game. What would Jigglypuff even be, because it's already fairy type, right? I want to say steel type, I don't know why. I feel like I could imagine an iron ball, but it's different. Maybe steel electric type, since it likes to sing in the microphone, that could be a thing. Amoonguss though, I don't know. He could be grass psychic, since like a bunch of the mushrooms kind of possess other Pokemon. Well, I guess it could be grass ghost. Yeah, grass ghost sounds about right. That was kind of the mindset I had on there. Misdreavus though, I'm gonna say fire type. I'm looking at her hair and I'm gonna say fire type. Fire ghost possibly. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with me with these predictions. I don't feel like any of them are right here. They mentioned that there's gonna be a different type of Gallade and Delibird. That's gonna be interesting. I really like what Insurgents did with Gallade, making him ice electric type. I don't think that's gonna happen, but it would be pretty cool. Maybe Gallade will be fighting fairy? I don't know. Delibird, I feel like just like Murkrow, the possibilities are endless with him because he's like a Santa bird holding a bag. So I'm gonna say dark type, dark flying type, just to kind of have a similar Murkrow feel to it. But instead of like with this bag, he could be like a robber or something. Like he'd be stealing stuff instead of giving stuff to people. It could be that, who knows. The only leaks that I have skipped over honestly was just the ones that they had mentioned about the final evolutions of Fuecoco, Quaxley, and Sprigatito, because I still want to predict first and then see that leak. But for the most part, when it comes to the leaks, I need to do more research on it to see what they have to say. But the reason that all these leaks are so reliable, at least that people believe them, is because they're all similar and they're all talking about the same thing. Because mostly when it comes to fake leaks, like they're just saying it and it has no backup to it. And if another person says something completely different and they're both wrong, and that makes them unreliable. But there's multiple people saying the same thing, which is people are going like, oh damn, no, the leaks are a lot more accurate this year than everything else. And part of me feels like they were all looking like they're in the localization team where they're doing the subtitles and they're the ones showing off what they found. Like they work for Game Freak and everything. It's the insiders, I'm telling you. Besides all that, there was a tweet that Pokemon had mentioned that there was mysterious markings that was captured by a Paldean photographer, and then this video was uploaded that's 2 minutes long that shows these paintings on these trees, and these are the same trees that are based on actual, like it is actually happening in Spain, where they're kind of like painted across, and it's kind of the border of France and Spain in that area. I forget what the name's called, but I'll put it in the subtitles, but it's pretty interesting. The video shows the narrator, the photographer rather, just saying what he's trying to find on his findings and all that. He's going through the wilderness looking through the trees. He's trying to set up cameras cameras and like motion detectors and all that to try to find something. And I don't know the real main source of it because I had seen it trending during the time, and when I looked at it, there's all these pictures of what people believe. I don't know where it came from, but they were talking about how it looked like a lemur and all that, and I think it's because the leakers had said it's based off an eye. So I wasn't really sure, because when I was looking through the trending page when they were talking about this, I was like, how the fuck they know it's a lemur? Like, it's just a painted tree, and then that's what they get. Anyway, the photographer had mentioned that like he sees a scatterbug in the motion detector going for this because the likelihood on this paint is substance from berries, and it's meant to catch the prey of that. And you see the Pokemon kind of run by. Anyway, as I was saying though, I was kind of like wondering where the hell the whole lemur thing came from. And so when I saw these pictures of this like lemur, I'm all like, it would have like a rainbow tail or something. But then you see it in this video, you see some spots here and there of what the Pokemon is gonna be. And this Pokemon is called Grafaiai. It's a very territorial Pokemon, and it uses his fingers to paint. And not only that, his breath is kind of graffiti based too, because you'll see in a moment of it spraying towards the camera and all that. But I do kind of find it interesting that they introduced it. I think it's one of the common Pokemon that's gotta be used by this guy right here, the graffiti artist. But yeah, I kind of want to see what would happen if a Grafaiai meets another Grafaiai. Do they just fight or something? Because they paint over other markings of other Grafaiais. So that's kind of why I wonder. And I also want to see an interaction with Grafaiai that meets a Smeargle or something like that. So that would be pretty interesting to me. I also don't know what's the, like, it's not much of a tag all that much with the blue and purple, because that's what's on the trees. Imagine that Grafaiai walking back and he's like, what the hell? And then he paints over the same shit that he had before. But yeah, here he is. And it's like a punk graffiti painter Pokemon. And a lot of people were saying that this is basically a hoodie. I guess so, but like, I wish his ears wasn't completely like that. I think it would have been better if the hoodie was behind the ears so you could actually tell it's a hoodie. So a lot of people like this Pokemon so far. And here's the graffiti breath that I was gonna mention. But yeah, you see it towards the camera, and that's how the video ends. So let's go talk about Grafaiai right quick. So Grafaiai is a moody Pokemon with a fastidious disposition. I don't know if I said that word right. It doesn't form packs, preferring to roam alone. It constantly caught up in territorial struggles with other Pokemon. It's a toxic monkey Pokemon, poison normal type, 2'4", 60 pounds, with the ability Unburden and Poison Touch, which means with Unburden, if it uses his berry, he becomes twice as fast. It sets up poison traps around its territory. Grafaiai is nocturnal. Once the sun sets, it licks its hands and fingers to cover them in poison, then uses them to draw patterns on the trees in its territory. The poisonous saliva it uses to paint paralyzes bug Pokemon, which are drawn to saliva's sweet, fragrant scent. When dawn draws near, Grafaiai goes to collect any incapacitated prey. So yeah, it pretty much eats bug Pokemon that fell for the trap. So there's that. I mean, that's what lemurs and eye-eyes actually do. They eat bugs and all that. When Grafaiai senses danger, its poisonous saliva becomes even more toxic. This Pokemon specializes in using its poisonous saliva, when changes color depending on what the Pokemon eats, to attack foes by spitting at them or by stashing at them after coating its claws with the saliva. When Grafaiai senses danger, its poison rapidly becomes concentrated, resulting in a potent toxin that, once absorbed, will immobilize the victim for 3 whole days. And they mentioned about like the different colors of depending on his diet. It's like, I don't know if that's nature based, like if it's modest, it will prefer like the beauty type of berries like Chesto or whatnot. I don't know if that makes sense to most of you, but like, is that what they mean? Because I only seen this model where it's blue and purple all the time, and that's what is shown in the video as being blue and purple. Like what's a red and yellow Grafaiai looks like. And I do find it interesting because with a little bit more research when it comes to eye-eyes, it is territorial based. Like it's pretty much that, and like to mark his territory, it like scratches onto the trees and stuff, and it has very long fingers that has like, I think the word was metacarpal phalangeal tube. It's like a ball and socket joint, and I'm pretty sure that's the name. And the reason I got that right is because there's metacarpals and then phalanges being fingers and all that, the finger bone that's like across your hand. So yeah, it's like literally the only animal that has the ball and socket stuff, so that's why his fingers are so freaking long. So it's interesting the connection there. My first thought, it was grass and dark type. Another first thought I had was that this was the Pokemon that was sneaking in the museum, but no, I don't think it is. I think it's just a regular Pokemon that you'll find around the northeast area taking on the graffiti artist trainer. It's a very interesting Pokemon. I don't know if it actually does look like a Pokemon to me. Like, there's a few Pokemon that doesn't really look Pokemon-esque, but whatever, because I would believe you if you say this is a Temtem character. That's all I'm saying. It's a great Pokemon nonetheless. Now for the next trailer, as I talk too much about it, it's a very short video, 43 seconds long, showing off Grafaiai, a very territorial Pokemon. Again, with the color spectrum on Scarlet and Violet, with the painted trees across in this area. I don't know how early you'll find them, but every time there's something about them, it's around the mountains. But you see Grafaiai, yet again, blue and purple, licking his fingers, painting all this stuff. A new Pokemon discovered in the Paldea region, Grafaiai, poison normal type like I mentioned, which is pretty interesting. I don't know when people, not people, but Game Freak decides what would be a normal type Pokemon and what wouldn't, because I easily would have put dark type and slapped it on this dude, to be honest. I do think it will evolve. I just don't know with like how much, because if he were to evolve, I would change his hands and it'd be more graffiti based. They didn't really show all that much now that I look at it. They just made him appear, but he has this poison move. I don't know what the poison move is called, but he uses it. Maybe it's Venoshock or something, but it did it on this jump bluff, and here's his dancing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Early purchase bonus, receive a special Pikachu that can't be obtained through regular gameplay. Knows the move Fly, has Flying Terra type. So yeah, it's a very special Pikachu. Like I said, based on the Pokemon Yellow, Flying type Pikachu. The only difference is he's wearing it on his head, and I think it's very much worth it. Available until Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. So you have a lot of time to pretty much get this thing. You have a whole 4 months until this goes away. So just be sure to get this thing. You don't have to put it on your team, but it's good to collect nonetheless. Either way though, that is pretty much it. Or I would say that, but I forget to mention about Breloom being in the competitive video. So technically speaking, Shroomish and Breloom is confirmed in the game. And also ignore the fact that I said that this ghost is like yellow version. He's obviously already in red and blue and all that stuff with this sprite. But yeah, that was the breakdown analysis video. Like, normally I don't cover leaks because, you know, obviously it might be swaying away, but I just had to for the amount of reliability it has for the last couple of months. I also had thought of like the Murkrow possibility and Honchkrow just possibly being a Conquistador since it's Spain based in Paldea region. And I know that like before somebody comments is like, oh, some of these Pokemon may or may not had entries recently. I know, like, this is future me talking, and when I did the majority of the video, that was like a month ago. I just barely now got it to edit this and all that. So for those of you that are watching breakdown analysis videos through me and like seeing how Scarlet and Violet videos are, I'm gonna withdraw you from any spoilers or anything like that. So like the upcoming new videos I'm gonna be covering breakdown analysis, we're gonna confirm those Pokemon until that happens. So that's all it is. Also FYI, when it comes to like lizards and stuff like that, any reptile really that loses a tail or something or a limb, every time I search it up, it just literally says it is not in serious harm, and it might even be better for that said reptile because like it fell off for a reason, like whether it might be cancerous to itself or something like that, or some infection on there. That could be positive reasons why their tails or whatnot falls off. And also when it comes to like Cyclizar, he's definitely like the Cosmog of the generation. I'm just not sure how far of the evolution goes to when it comes to Koraidon and Miraidon. It could be just like the Diancie situation where the Carbink has like a mutation and then there's just 1 in a million chance that it would turn into a completely different Pokemon. And that could be it right here, because like you see random people very commonly have Cyclizars, so I do find that a bit interesting. And also the fact that it's Dragon Normal type and everything, and we're still not sure what Miraidon and Koraidon's typing is, because it could be like Dragon Flying or Dragon Fire or even Dragon Rock, and then Miraidon could be like Dragon Steel or Dragon Psychic or Dragon Electric. There's multiple possibilities. Because I looked up on the Diancie thing, it says Diancie is born from a Carbink that undergoes a mutation. It has occasionally been seen traveling or living near other Carbink as seen in the anime. So do you think Cyclizar is in the similar situation where it's just like an underling of what a chosen Cyclizar could be, whether it's Koraidon or Miraidon? I'm starting to think it is, because it's way too common common for anybody to just eventually get a legendary each. So who knows? Because for those of you that doesn't know about Cosmog, like it's a legendary Pokemon that's like very rare and all that. It eventually evolves into Cosmoem, and then after Cosmoem it eventually evolves into Solgaleo or Lunala. So it is a bit weird that like Cyclosaur is just way too common when it comes to the Paldea region. And lastly, I wanted to talk about the eye facts because like, yeah, as you could tell with the fingers and all that, it uses it to collect bugs and all that. It would tap into the trees to see any hollow ends of it, and any vibrations it catches, it would listen for the bug and just immediately go for it. Like it would burrow into the tree and then use the middle finger to just completely hook the bug and like try to stab it and pull it out and eat it, as you saw in the video. And apparently like besides scratching the tree to mark its territory, it uses the scent as well, and it doesn't seem like the eyes even are bothered when the other eyes are there, so I don't think Grafaiai would even mind. Or maybe it will. Maybe in the Pokemon universe they get pissed off when, you know, their territory is marked, because they are the territorial Pokemon. But for actual eyes, the only reason they'd be territorial is because it's like around mating season or something. But yeah, all that's pretty interesting. Other than that though, next time we're gonna be covering some more videos. I know that the upcoming ones, like I know eventually I have to cover this 14-minute trailer video. Good God, I'm gonna try to go as fast as that as humanly possible, because if I cover a 3-minute video and turn into a 30-minute, who knows what the 14-minute video would be. So I'll try to work something out to make it painless pretty much. I'm getting closer, at least. I'm getting pretty close. Like we covered 3 trailers. I think that's a feat, if anything, even though they are short. Either way, White Tigers and Dragons to you, and you've been Scarred by the Night. I'm out.